Narcissism. Let's talk about confidence. If you walked into a room full of people and asked who would like to have more confidence, probably almost everyone in that room would say definitely yes. But what is confidence? And outside of telling someone to be more confident, how do you actually get there? So yes, today's video is going to be all about confidence, and we'll go into 3 ways you can start working on your confidence starting right now. This is kind of a follow-up video to my video on imposter syndrome, which so many of you said you could relate to, said that feeling like an imposter was a feeling that you resonated with. And so in that video, if you haven't seen it already, be sure to check it out. I talk about what it is and how to work through it. One of the tools that can help us to manage imposter syndrome is, of course, working on our internal sense of confidence. So let's dive in and talk about 3 ways that you can become more confident starting today. By the way, if we haven't met already, hi, I'm Dr. Therese and welcome to my channel. I help people to take steps toward building a life that you don't need a vacation from. So if you're interested in practical tips to help you build a more meaningful, more fulfilling life that you love, be sure to like and subscribe by clicking on the bell below. And you can also stay connected with me by following me on Instagram at exploring.therapy. And I just want to say thank you. All the ways that you make efforts to connect and engage with the channel and leave comments makes a huge difference. So first things first, in order to grow more of a sense of confidence, we've got to be clear about what confidence is and what confidence isn't. So step number 1, be clear about what confidence is. A lot of times I find that we tend to have misguided ideas about what confidence really is. Confidence isn't necessarily being the best or brightest person in the room. Confidence isn't having all of the answers. Confidence isn't not asking, that's a double negative, but isn't not asking people for help. Confidence isn't feeling 100% like you know what's going on all of the time. Confidence also isn't about feeling like you never have doubts or second guess yourself. And don't get this confused. Confidence isn't about being narcissistic and self-focused, and it's not about needing to have the most attention in the room. I think this is an important one to acknowledge because we live in a society that tends to glorify narcissism, and we tend to glorify those like corporate billionaires that think they've got all the world's answers and have really inflated senses of their own ego. So yeah, confidence is not narcissism. Okay, but now that we've talked about what confidence is not, then what is confidence? Well, confidence is made up of quite a few different things, I think. One is that confidence is about self-awareness. It's about knowing who you care about and what you care about. It's about knowing what your mission is. It's about knowing what assets and gifts and strengths that you bring to the table without needing to feel like you have to be good at everything. So you also know what you're not necessarily the strongest or best at. Confidence isn't necessarily about making yourself small, though I love a humble and confident leader, but I think it's about not needing everyone else to see you as big. A confident person shares their accomplishments, their knowledge, and their insight, not because it inflates their sense of ego and self-esteem, but because it actually serves a purpose to other people. Confident people are willing to take feedback, but they don't let criticism be the only voice in their head. And ultimately, I think all the things about confidence boil down to this one thing. Being confident is about having the ability to trust yourself. In other words, confidence is about trusting yourself, and trusting yourself is all about keeping promises to yourself, doing what you say you're gonna do for yourself and for others. So if confidence is really about trusting yourself and keeping promises to yourself, then this is really important. This means that confidence isn't so much a trait as it is a choice and a practice. And this is the first thing I think people get wrong, is that we think that you either are born with confidence or you aren't. It's not something that you work on and acquire. But it couldn't be further from the truth, because you can work on keeping promises to yourself. You can work on being more consistent with your word and the things that you've set out to do. And so confidence is something that anyone at any time can get better at. I think someone who is just the complete embodiment of confidence, at least the way I see it, is Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is someone who manages to make such an incredible impact on this world, has so many talents, and yet she knows who she is and she knows who she isn't. In fact, one of my favorite Dolly Parton quotes goes like this: "I'm not offended by all of the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb, and I also know that I'm not blonde." Right? So she knows who she is, and so what people say about her doesn't bother her because she knows exactly what she brings to the table. And Dolly has stayed true to this word because not only is she an incredible country singer and artist, but she's also led tons of philanthropic efforts which have made a huge impact in her community. Way to go, Dolly. So now that we're clear on what confidence is and what it isn't, and we have that inspiration of channeling Dolly Parton inside our souls, the second step to growing more confidence today is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. In other words, you gotta fail, you gotta risk, you gotta do things outside of your comfort zone. So if you're someone that struggles with insecurity from time to time, here's what you need to know about insecurity. It serves a protective function. And here's what I mean by that. When you struggle with insecurity, it keeps you from taking risks and putting your neck out there. So if you never take risks and you never try, well, then you never feel disappointed or let down or rejected. And so insecurity kind of reinforces itself because you keep yourself small and then you never deal with the discomforts that come with all of those risks. But when you're trying to grow more confident, you obviously have to fight through those voices that are trying to keep you small. So here's the uncomfortable truth about growing confidence starting today. Confidence is born in discomfort. I've thought about this long and hard, and I can't think of any other way to get confident that doesn't involve some level of being uncomfortable, of putting yourself out there, of putting out the effort, of being bad at something, of failing at something, of getting rejected. And so make peace with those things. If you have ever been in a position where you've experienced rejection before, then you're already one step ahead of the game, because most of us live with great fear of rejection, whether that's in relationships or work or career. And when you learn that you can deal with failure or deal with rejection and you can still be standing on the other side of it, it's a complete game changer. When you make it through failure or rejection, you learn an immensely important lesson, which is that it doesn't kill you, and in fact, it doesn't define you at all. A lot of us feel that if we're rejected one time or that if we fail one time, that it makes us a failure. We think that it suddenly means that it reinforces all those fears we've had that we're not good enough or we're never gonna make it. But here's what we know. People who we admire as the most successful, as the ones that we herald because of what they've done, they have definitely failed along the way. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with failure and rejection. See it as part of your path to getting where you want to be. And when you finally learn to accept that it's part of the path and you stop fighting it, it gets so much easier to take the steps you need to get more confident. All right, so I gotta know, have feelings of insecurity ever held you back from doing something that you really wanted to do? If so, share with us in the comments below and let us know what your experience has been. And my third and final tip for how to grow your confidence more starting today is heal your self-talk. The thoughts that you say in your head before you've even had a conversation with anyone else have such an impact on the way that you see the world, your beliefs, your views, your truths. And so one of the things I notice is that when you struggle with confidence, it's because there's a battle going on in your head. And this is where it starts. And one simple way to move forward with healing your self-talk when it comes to confidence is don't fire yourself. Go until you get a no. I can't tell you how many times in the therapy room I see people take themselves out of the running or make assumptions about what people think about them and how they're underqualified. And it's so frustrating because they are disqualifying themselves before they've even put themselves in the running. So just being able to tell yourself that it's okay for you to try and put yourself in the room, that you belong at the table is so important, because sometimes people don't even let themselves walk into the room. I heard a frustrating statistic once that said when it comes to applying for jobs, men will apply when they meet only 30% of the qualifications, and women will apply when they meet 70 to 100% of the qualifications. And so it doesn't hurt to have the confidence to stretch yourself, even if you feel like you may not have 100% of the things that are needed for the job. Most of us who are going for something don't have 100% of what is needed to make it happen. But you have the ingenuity, you have the intelligence, and you have the humility to seek out help and support when you don't know exactly what it takes. And that is usually the most important criteria when it comes to doing any kind of job. Another way to heal your self-talk and work on your confidence is simply to change your relationship with the things you feel most insecure about. A lot of times we let our insecurities drive the conversation. They're at the forefront of our mind, and all we can do when that happens is we let those insecurities hold us back. The truth is that these insecurities can often be the same things that become your assets down the road. Our insecurities make us relatable, they make us human. Our insecurities can also drive us to work harder, to learn more, to do everything that we can to manage what we feel we're lacking confidence in. So see your insecurities as an asset. Don't see them as something that's holding you back. Oftentimes, the things you feel most vulnerable and insecure about end up being your superpowers in the end. So here are some quick tips for how to work on your self-talk if you've said any of these things, okay? So don't say, I lack confidence. Say, I'm working on being more confident. Don't say, I am not enough. Say, I am working on feeling that I am enough. Don't say, I don't belong here. Say, I'm working on remembering that if I'm in the room, then I belong here. At the end of the day, we all have an inner critic and an inner cheerleader, and it's up to you to decide who gets to be in the driver's seat, who is the voice that you listen to the most. So let's recap the 3 points that we've learned today. First, confidence isn't about being the best or brightest in the room. It's about being able to trust yourself and keep promises to yourself. Second, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. The only way to get more confident is through discomfort, failure, rejection. So learn to accept it as part of the process. Stop fearing it so much, because those things don't define who you are and aren't some sort of confirmation that you're not qualified or you're not enough for the thing that you want to do. 3, heal your self-talk when it comes to confidence. Remember, it is not a trait, it is a practice and a choice. So be mindful of the words you use when it comes to your own relationship with yourself and your confidence, and stop holding yourself back. Go until you get a no. Don't fire yourself. Those are my 3 quick and relatively easy tips for how to grow more confident today. I hope that if you've been struggling with feeling some insecurity, some self-doubt, or holding yourself back, that maybe one of these things will help you to take that baby step forward that you need to feel like the confident person that I know you are inside. So thanks again for watching today. One more thing, if you are interested in other tools to help you grow your confidence, the best things that I can offer you is a tool to help you work on your boundaries so that you can learn what to say yes and what to say no to. And so I have a free offering for you, which is a book called How to Say No Without Feeling Bad About It. It's completely free. In order to get your copy, just click on the link down in the description below, and you'll be well on your way to learning how to have better boundaries, which will definitely help with your confidence. So thanks again for watching. Please stay in touch. Remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell. And don't forget to watch my video on imposter syndrome, which I think you'll find helpful as well. Thanks again, and have a great one. Bye.